At 5:51 on a Tuesday morning in Indianapolis, before the coffee even starts, a warehouse supervisor opens his banking app and moves exactly $50. Not 60, not whatever is left after the week, 50. He has done this every payday for 16 months. Same time, same amount, same silence. He has never told anyone. He takes home $2,410 a month. Every financial rule you've been handed says that number is too small to build anything real. He is currently 3 full months of survival ahead of his own life and moving toward a year. $50. There is a 3-move system inside that number. By the end of this video, you will have all of it. But I'm going to make you sit with the reason it works first, because the reason has almost nothing to do with math. Hand it to most people too early, and they nod, agree, and never start. Most savings advice was written for people with leftovers. Save 20%. 20% of what, exactly, when rent, insurance, the car, and groceries have already spoken? 20% of zero is still zero. The advice industry keeps handing percentage plans to people whose problem was never the percentage, then act surprised when they quit. Percentages are for people with slack. What I'm about to show you is for everyone else. If you've ever opened a savings calculator, typed your real numbers, watched the timeline stretch to 11 years and quietly closed the tab, that wasn't weakness. That was a sane response to advice that was never built for your paycheck. If you've started a plan 3 times and watched all 3 die by the second month, you didn't fail 3 times. The plan did. It catches good people with good intentions over and over. 2026 is a hard year to be one paycheck from the edge. Nearly 4 in 10 American adults still can't cover a $400 emergency with cash. Fewer than half could handle a $1,000 surprise without borrowing. And for lower-income households, income itself swings by double-digit percentages month to month. The paycheck isn't just small, it's moving. Any plan that assumes a calm, predictable surplus was written for somebody else's life. His name, for our purposes, is Derek, 38, warehouse supervisor, 11 years on the floor. Take home $2,410, paid every other Friday. 18 months ago, his financial life had a very specific texture. Maybe you recognize it. Not poverty, precision. Every dollar already spoken for. The $12 of slack that decides whether the week ends calm or tense. The particular dread when the car makes a new sound. One night, a Thursday, 12:07 a.m., he sat at the kitchen table doing the math on a $78 school activity fee for his daughter, moving numbers between columns like furniture in a room that is too small. $78, and it required restructuring the entire month. That was the night he said the quiet part out loud. One missed paycheck, and everything falls. The system did not come from a bank or an app. It came from an older coworker who restores classic cars on the weekends. Derek once asked him how he could stand looking at a project that took years. The man looked at him like the question was foolish and said, "I've never restored a car in my life. I tightened the next bolt." He didn't think about the finished car. The finished car was none of his business. His business was the next bolt, torque correct, and only then the one after it. Years of that, and behind him sat machines that actually ran. Derek went home, looked at the wreckage of his second failed savings plan, and asked the only question that mattered: what is my bolt? Here's why that question beats any calculator. His failed plans had the same shape, a giant number at the end and a monthly demand in the middle. Save $500 a month, hit $20,000. A Chicago economist named Richard Thaler spent a career proving what brains actually do with money. We don't treat it as one pool. We sort it into mental accounts. Huge, distant goals get treated differently than small, present actions. The giant number does not motivate. It votes against you. Every month, you look up at 20,000 from 300 and the gap does the talking. Big plans don't die of math. They die of the view. So, the system has 3 moves. I'll name them once, then prove each one. The unit, the capture, the ceiling. Together, they form the $50 system. And no, it is not save 50 a week. If it were that simple, this would be a 30-second video, and most of you would have quit by March. Move 1. The unit. A unit is $50, and a unit is the only size your emergency fund is allowed to exist in. Not a year of savings, not 20,000. Derek sat down and found his true survival number. Rent, utilities, groceries, insurance, transport, the phone, nothing else. It came to $1,750 a month. A year of survival, $21,000. He wrote that number down exactly once, divided it by 50, and never looked at it again. 420 units. From that day forward, his entire savings life became one automated move. Every other Friday at 5:51 a.m., before feelings, before the month could object, 1 unit. $50. The discipline happened once, the day he set the transfer. The machine handles the mornings. Move 2. The capture. This is the engine and the part almost everyone misses. The payday unit is just the heartbeat, steady, small, alive. The real construction happens when money gets freed or found. Derek finally canceled the streaming bundle he barely used, $47 a month. Under the system, freed money does not dissolve into the month. It converts. 1 unit, laid the same day, every month, with his name on the reason. Tax refund landed, $1,280. Thaler's research has a specific warning for this moment. Windfalls get sorted into the fun money account in your head and disappear at double speed. The system's answer is a 24-hour capture window. Within 1 day, that refund became 25 units, laid, counted, and gone from temptation. A weekend side shift covering for a coworker, 3 units. An unexpected insurance adjustment, 1 unit. 39 cents left over just for the satisfaction. The capture is how a $50 habit builds at a $300 to $400 pace. Move 3. The ceiling. This is the strange one, and the one that saves the plan in month 5. Under the $50 system, you are never allowed to make a savings decision larger than $50, ever. No, I'm feeling strong this month, let me throw in $300, because the same ambition that puts $300 in on a good month is the ambition that quits entirely on a bad one. The ceiling keeps the plan boring. Boring is the point. You lay a unit or you lay a few units, one decision at a time. And on the months when the car does make that sound and there are no units available, here's what the system does that percentage plans cannot. Nothing breaks. A percentage plan misses a month and dies of shame. A wall of units just waits. The wall does not judge. It is exactly as tall as it was. The next unit is still $50, same as always. You do not save a year, you lay a unit. I can hear the objection. $50 is nothing. At this rate, the year takes forever. Both halves are true. The full 420 units at Derek's real pace lands just under 4 years from the day he started. I won't dress that up, but here's the part the objection misses and the entire reason this system exists. An emergency fund does not have to be finished to be working. Derek banked his first full month of survival, 35 units, $1,750 in month 4. Month 4. That is the month the 12:07 a.m. math sessions ended. By month 14, 3 full months stood behind him, and the specific fear that used to live in the sound of his own car had nowhere left to sit. The year is the destination. The panic dies in the first mile. A fund is not finished to be working. If you are waiting to feel safe until the whole wall is done, you have misunderstood what walls are for. Every course of units is already shelter. Quick pause. This channel exists because most money advice is written for people with slack, and the honest version for real paychecks mostly does not get made. If you want more of that, the subscription is how you vote for it. And do one thing in the comments. Tell me your unit, your real survival number divided by 50, the honest count, not the fantasy one. I actually read them. Derek had a coworker, call him Marcus, same warehouse, same years in. take home within $40 of Derek's. I'm keeping them nearly identical on purpose because the difference between these two men is not $1 of income. 14 months ago, they talked about money on a break and both started saving that same week. Marcus did what the internet told him. He picked the impressive number, $500 a month, and attacked. For 2 months, he made it. It felt like becoming a new person. Month 3, his hours got cut, and the plan missed. Month 4, catching up meant 1,000, and the math laughed at him.
He quit quietly, the way plans die. No announcement, just a transfer that stopped. He restarted in the spring. Same plan, same wall, same ending. He is on his 3rd restart now, and his savings account this morning reads a number that rhymes with 0. Derek's decision on that break looked small, $50 small. It was not. And if Marcus's story stung, if you counted your own restarts somewhere in that paragraph, good. Do not scroll past that sting. It is not an accusation, it is a diagnosis, and it arrived free. The plans did not fail because you were weak. They failed because they were load-tested for a life smoother than yours. There is a moment from Derek's month 11 I want you to have, because this is what the middle of the wall feels like. The brakes went, the real grinding. $380. He stood at the counter, paid it, got the keys, and drove home. It was not until he was pulling onto his own street that he noticed what had not happened. Nothing. No spiral, no midnight table, no furniture-moving math. 7.5 units came off a wall that held 4 months of them, and the wall just absorbed it. He told his sister it was the most expensive, boring afternoon of his life. That is the product, not the 21,000, the boring, the quiet. 2 honest edges before the finish. First, the carve-out. If your income genuinely sits below your survival line, if the math is negative before any unit exists, then the $50 system is not a shame instrument, and laying units is not your first move. Income is. Hours, rates, benefits you've already earned. That is a different conversation, and pretending a savings habit fixes an income gap is exactly the kind of advice this channel exists not to give you. Second, where the units live matters. Derek's wall sits in a high-yield savings account paying around 4%. Call it 4. That means a finished wall will quietly lay about 16 of its own units a year without him. The wall eventually hires itself. But how those accounts actually work, which ones are lying, and the compounding math underneath, that is the foundation under this foundation, and it is the one piece I am deliberately not fitting into this video. An ordinary Tuesday, and you want to start. 3 moves tonight. 1. Find your real survival number, the stripped, honest one. Divide by 50. Write the unit count down once and put the paper away. You are not allowed to look at it again. That is the ceiling working. 2. Set the automated payday unit before you sleep. $50. First transaction of the cycle. Willpower is spent by Friday afternoon. A standing transfer has never had a bad week. 3. Start your capture list. Every subscription, fee, and forgotten drip you cancel from this day forward has a standing destination within 24 hours. No exceptions. One last time. 5:51 on a Tuesday morning in Indianapolis. Coffee not yet poured. A man moves $50 in the dark of his kitchen and tells no one. Now you know exactly what you are looking at. Not a payment. The next bolt, torque correct, with acres of finished machine behind it and a number he never thinks about somewhere far ahead. Somewhere across town, Marcus is drafting restart number 4 around another impressive number. 2 paychecks, 1 break room conversation, 1 system between them. You do not save a year, you lay a unit, and the best possible morning to lay the first one is the one you wake up to next.